What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 158 of Anime on Draft. My name is Mark. I'll be your host this week. Sorry about the audio quality. It's having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, Mark is upgraded specifically.
Just me, specifically. Welcome, guys. Yeah, in the opposite direction. What's up, guys? How is everyone? It's good to be back.
Good.
Excellent.
Yes.
Monday.
Excellente.
Monday, we had some new shows come out. Not too many. We're still expecting some more this week. Nice. So we will be getting into our a few of the summer premieres for 2020, as well as we'll be getting into our Orishiri, Shinsekai Yori, and Moari Penguin Drum episodes 10 for each. And we will be discussing that a little bit later, as well as these beers that we have today. So I have myself and Rolando have the Figueroa Mountain. This is the Danish Red. It's a red lager. Drew, I believe you're drinking what is it again? Drive-through?
Drive-through red.
Drive-through red.
Yeah.
And Alec, what's that? Yeah. The Full Sail Amber?
Alec, what is that? Full Sail Amber.
Yeah. From Hood River, Oregon. Yeah.
All right.
Boom. There you go.
Cool.
It's a pretty beer.
Cool. This guy's already almost done.
Yeah, Drew's been drinking his beer this whole time.
So while
it was gonna get hot.
While we're sipping on these, I already had a few sips. I don't blame him. It's hot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Need a truly.
That is exactly it. It is getting hot, and I already started drinking as well. So as we're sipping on these, let's get into our Orishiri for this week. This is our pairing. We have episode 10 of Moari Penguin Drum. I had to watch both episode 9 and 10 together, which I'm kind of grateful I did, just because they sort of led into each other a little bit.
You didn't want to wait.
And I caught on to what you guys were discussing last week, and there was a whole lot. There was a whole lot to discuss. So I'm really glad I listened to you guys talking about stuff. But I mean, episode 10, man, it just leaves us on another cliffhanger with the final confrontation with Kanba and what is her name? Natsume?
Yes.
Right?
What confrontation? Every single thing in this show is clear now. Kappa.
It's all crystal clear.
Yeah.
No more questions.
None.
Everything's been answered.
You just need to. You just need to.
There we go. Yes. I wish everything could be answered. Like, I feel like every episode, and I feel like I say this every damn week, it's like every episode it leaves me with more and more questions. It's like something kind of gets answered, but then it's like, oh, we get more info in Himari's past, and the two girls on the two idol group, Double H now, during this time, and man, I'm just like, I'm like overloaded. I don't know.
So is Discord.
Do you want to lead this?
Next slide,
lead
please.
This discussion. Or...
Yeah. Wait, what was that last
Discord is definitely overloaded. I don't know if it's ready for prime time.
Excellent.
I think it's just the application.
Yeah,
the processing power of the mobile device.
The mobile
We're
device.
catching up.
While on cellular data service instead of Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's having trouble with my camera right now.
Yeah.
It's putting like 15 frames per second. It's just weird.
Yeah.
It looks good.
All right.
Anyways.
So,
nice.
What did Mark say?
I don't know what Mark said.
Yeah, Mark, you wanna say that last part again? Who lead discussion? What?
Next slide.
Drew, Drew knows remembers more about this show. So Drew, why don't you?
I was asking. I was asking Drew.
Got it.
All right, Drew, lead us through.
Next slide.
Next slide.
Sorry, I can't get over that.
Yeah, Drew just can't even right now.
Yeah, he's broken.
Right now, Mark's frame is just like frozen on like.
Yeah, and now Rolando's lagging and it's going.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot
now.
going on with this.
There's also
Discord.
a lot going on with Penguin Drum too.
Yeah.
So we can talk about it.
Let's do it.
This episode kind of shifts away from the Ringo show kind of arc and starts to move in a little bit more to Natsumi and Kanba. At least focusing on characters. I don't know if it's like a separate arc or anything like that. So we get a little bit more of Kanba's perspective, and like I said, kind of shifting away from because basically the diary's gone from Ringo. We assume Natsumi has it, and then we kind of get a little bit more on Natsumi and why she's kind of like hunting Kanba. But there's a question here, why is she interested in Kanba? I know why. What
I know too.
my first time watchers, based on kind of like what happened in this episode, and based on a lot of the minimal interactions we've had with her, what do we think is going on between Natsumi and Kanba?
She's the ex that he hated everything she did. That was really annoying. But he secretly liked her, and she broke up with him, and so he just says he hates all that stuff so that he doesn't pine after her. That's my theory. I don't know if it's true or not.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because like Hamar, they're sitting in like in the hospital cafeteria, and Hamari asks like, if you got a present from a girl, what would you like? And he's like, I don't really know. And he's like, I do know what I wouldn't like. And he names off basically everything that we assume Natsumi kind of did for him as he's, searching for her in this weird like ethereal penguin realm, trying to find his brother. So yeah, it's a good theory. Mark, any thoughts?
I mean, I don't know if he was the one who broke up with her. I feel like things had to end somehow, and she's probably still chasing after him. Whether it was probably the mom's accident or something in their past probably happened where they had to split. But yeah, I definitely think that there is like some really, really deep past there between Natsumi and Kanba. And I feel like, that she's just basically trying to rekindle that again.
We got to remember too, she's like hunting his exes too. The two girls in the park, the girl that falls down the stairs in the subway. She's basically blasting them in the dome with these penguin balls, and they're forgetting about him too. So she's trying to eliminate all the competition. You want to think about it that way, but I think the biggest thing though, yeah, for sure. I think like the biggest thing at the end though is like we get this other character who's wearing a penguin hat. What's up with that? Who's this Mario kid? What's going on with this? Not Super Mario.
And they're after
Penguin
the
Mario
drum too.
Not super.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Great theory.
Oh no.
Or the book. I don't know. I have no thoughts on that. Yep, that book.
About who Mario is?
I was kind of thinking that I don't know if Natsume was looking for. I don't know if Natsume was looking for the diary, the future diary for Project M. If maybe M stands for Mario. I don't know if that's just a weird connection or if she's actually looking for it for Kanba.
Does this show?
Those are the two ideas that popped into my head as soon as he showed up.
You made the connection that I wanted you to make. M for Mario.
Maybe a few of them.
Project M. We got another M. No, yeah. I mean, it comes up. It's very fabulous.
M for Fabulous Max.
But I think that's the main thing to just keep in mind is we keep having these new M's seemingly every week. This week we got Mario. So who knows what the next step of Project M is? Are they going to make a Super Smash Brothers game?
Project.
That's a fight.
Wow.
That's a fighting game reference.
Wow,
See if you're paying attention there, Rolando. But yeah, it's I don't know. We kind of got to see where it's going. I don't know. Thoughts on the shift to Kanba? Do we want to know more about Kanba? Do we like Ringo and Sho? Do we want to know more about Himari? Are we just good with the pacing overall? Any general thoughts about how the show's going so far?
I like the pacing that it has so far. I don't think there's a specific direction that I'd like it to go right now. For me, with this whole show, the way it's been so far is kind of, it kind of keeps taking us in these weird directions where you're like, well, what was going on with this, and now what's going on with this, and it's kind of one of those ones I like to sit back and enjoy the ride, is how it feels to me. So wherever they decide to turn, I'll sit here buckled in and then wait for them to finish.
Yeah, and we still have a long way to go too.
I think if the show were to come out today and I was to be watching it week to week, I think it would probably drive me crazy.
Is it not already driving you crazy?
It's been, I mean, yeah, absolutely. It really is. I mean, like, in the sense that I would be waiting like week to week and like want to know, and just like I would have no choice but to wait. I mean, a lot of other people out there can just watch this, like watch episodes of it at a time. We are just choosing to do that for the sake of discussion. Really though, but I do like the pacing of the show. It's very different compared to a lot of shows that we get nowadays. Like there's enough to keep us interested week to week, and there's enough that they like keeping from us as well. That they're not just going to give us all the answers right out. So I enjoy it.
To your point also, Mark, if it were released today, there's a chance it gets delayed, and then you have to wait months to see the rest of it, and it's like, fuck, this sucks. And then you
like
forget.
That's
very true.
Like the end of Madoka when that aired. There's a whole like month between the like last episode.
And everyone just went crazy.
Yeah. That's brutal. Yeah, good show. More craziness to come.
Good.
Expect
it. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, definitely. Yep. And like I said, it was nice to watch 2 episodes in a row for once.
Yeah, especially those last 2, they kind of, like you said, they tie into each other really well. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, then we'll get into episode 11 next week. Oh, sorry.
No,
did you have something else to add?
No, that's fine. Keep going. No, it was
apologize.
Just filler because I thought we were pausing. Just filling.
That's all right. Well, we'll move on to our other Orishiri show. God, that is so hard to say.
Orishiri show?
Shinsekai Yori. Orishiri show Shinsekai Yori.
Say it all 10 times fast.
Did you guys notice from this episode of Moaru Penguin Drum, they also played Dvorak's From the New World, which is like the go home theme in this show.
When he was walking down all those stairs.
Yeah.
Can we get a quick rendition?
Yeah.
No. I put the automaton away.
Oh, okay. No.
Automaton rendition.
It got put away earlier.
Well, too bad.
He's like,
no, none of that.
Can't do it. Can't
Move
do
on.
it.
Next slide. Next slide.
Pass it. Well, after you mentioned it, I was like, that does sound familiar. Cool. Well then, let's get into Shinsekai Yori. Episode 10. Again, I'm glad I watched 2 episodes of this, because I had that huge cliffhanger of after Shun, and then I really wanted to know what happened to him. So we kind of find out, and yes, I think Drew was the one who mentioned that he had become a karmic demon, right? You were the one who made that tie. It was you and Alec. So yeah, I think that the whole portrayal of Shun and like where he went, and we get the look into like, he tells us more about their powers and how things come to manifest from their like subconscious and from the consciousness, like from their conscious mind. and it was a lot. There was a lot of depth to the whole conversation between Shun and Saki. So I don't, Rolando, do you wanna take this one over now?
Probably.
Yes, I will.
Lead us.
So yeah, we get this look into like the kind of how the powers work. So like, do you guys understand more?
Judging by the pause, there was something going on.
There was really a pause, but all right.
Next slide, please.
Oh man. So judging by the pause, no pause.
All right. So do you guys get how the powers kind of work now? There's the whole idea between the conscious and the subconscious mind, and like kind of how they sort of found out how these PK powers manifested. It's like this untapped power and potential in the brain.
I think they did a good job of kind of explaining it like I'm 5, maybe more than I'm 5, maybe like 10 or 15 or something. But essentially Shun says like, at least in his particular circumstance, right? So if you think about these powers as like a tool and like your body or your like conscious mind being like the lid to like seal the tool, his is broken and leaking. And so that's why all this crazy shit is kind of happening to him. So I felt like that was like a good like metaphor comparison to like what he's experiencing, but also the idea of like the sacred barrier, where like barrier's not there to like keep stuff out. It's to kind of give the kids this thought that there's this unknown out there, and to project their fears of their subconscious towards that, as opposed to that of their village, to keep them safe. Because if they didn't do that, things like what is happening to Shun and like what happened to his village would happen to them, to like everybody. So it's kind of like this like really good idea of whoever the original users are, who are like put them there or are experimenting with them, or like whatever our other theories are about this. It's like a really good idea to like have them subconsciously or like brainwash them into thinking one thing in order to protect the whole of a village or something. And like I said, I think they did a good job of kind of explaining it, because at first like they ran through it and I had to think about it a little bit. But by the end of the episode, it totally made sense in terms of like what he's experiencing. Basically, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Saki basically enters like a state between like his unconscious and his like subconscious and conscious mind, and he's using all of his will to basically force her there and keep her safe while he explains things to her, and then eventually has to like push her out because he has no more control over his power. And I think the episode as a whole was done really well in terms of explaining that, and the show doesn't really make sense, but this part of the show, at least the way that they explained it, made a lot of sense to me. So
yeah, we got
bravo for them to being able to a super complex thing.
Yeah, they did a really good job. I'm glad we got some more answers, though. Like Drew said, it still doesn't make sense, but it was kind of cool to see why the hell a dog would just explode. It's because it just created by fears of people and children, essentially, and it's not a practical animal that just kind of... I have razor blades for bones, and I explode to defend myself.
Well, and it totally makes sense, right? Like kids have like really strange, thoughts about, like the monster living under the bed, or stuff like that. So these kind of crazy mythological animals like make sense to a kid who's scared about the unknown.
So if you guys think about it, we always I can't remember the English name. It was like the fake Monogatari from like the other season, Kyoyo Suiri or whatever, the one with the Steel Lady Nanase.
Inspector.
Yeah, Inspector.
Oh god.
So they kind of touch on a similar thing where if enough people believe in something, it becomes like it manifests itself. So you can kind of see a similarity between the whole subconscious thing, and what's happening outside, like the mutations outside the barrier. So this is kind of like the subconscious version of that, where like these fears and, you know, like maybe things that you said, like the monster under the bed, that people have like subconsciously are being affected outside of the barrier and becoming real just because everybody has these powers that can manifest and manipulate the world around them. And so it's kind of interesting to see a more like literal sense of like your mind over matter, and the kind of like what you perceive about the world around you is like your reality, because it's all like actually physically happening. I forgot who mentioned this before, but in a previous podcast, someone said like, are what like these kids experiencing, is that actually reality or not? So like it's actually a good question.
Yeah, I think that was me.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, that's a good question to ask, because it's like, well, they're kind of projecting their reality upon the whole society with this kind of brainwashing, and their minds can actually subconsciously control what's going on outside of the barrier. So like where is this blur between reality and imaginary? Because right now it seems, at least in the show, that the mind is very, very powerful. There's like this untapped power that we don't know too much about, other than the fact that this whole Hashimoto Applebaum syndrome is like this physical manifestation that they see in the observable world, that's being affected by the PK users.
It reminds me a lot of Inception and the debates you can get into at the end of it with whether it's reality or not.
At the end?
Yeah, at the end when the top spins and then it cuts, or sorry, spoilers.
It shakes.
Yeah, maybe it shakes.
Oh wow,
Does it
it's
actually
spinning.
shake?
Oh,
Oh, is it spinning?
It spins.
Yeah.
That is it still spinning then?
I don't know.
We don't
That's the
know.
question.
Think
That's
about
the
it.
point of my comment.
yeah. Well, Mark, you're the one that brought up the whole thing about, is this reality that they're experiencing? Like, what do you think about that now that we know about the whole Hashimoto Applebaum syndrome and all that?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, and like I said, like, I had been feeling this way for a good while now, and now that it's been explained in this sense, it totally makes sense. It's like a lot of the connections that we have all made, you know, like all the new watchers of this have all made, like definitely makes sense, you know, like that some of these blocks that they put on the kids to stop them from using their powers were all just, you know, subconscious blocks or limiters that were placed on them. The manifestation of their powers itself is like, you know, they have no control over it and need to be taught how to control it consciously. So it's just like this buildup of sort of playing mind games from an early age and without them knowing it, and which is definitely, I think, probably the correct way to go about this, about like the whole situation. Just in the fact that, like, you know, you need to have some sort of control over future generations, because, you know, they may not know how to handle their powers correctly.
Yeah,
so
imagine how like chaotic their society would be if just like you're born and just like your subconscious is leaking everywhere, and all the crazy like distortion and shit that would happen because of it. It's you know, and especially in a society where it seems like they're breeding these kids like specifically to have these powers, and they're trying to get like the most powerful ones, essentially. So it's like you take that and multiply it by 10 and you have all this craziness happen. They need like the brainwashing, they need the hypnosis, they need like the religious like thought and teaching in order to basically have any semblance of control over what's going on.
Yeah,
It makes me
yeah,
curious
it's kind of
about is
crazy.
what
And then
happens
like
with,
what
babies, newborn babies. Because how do you brainwash a newborn baby? Is it like chaos around newborn kids because it's just flowing everywhere? Or
Well, if you remember, the kids don't have powers and they don't manifest them until they get through puberty.
That's right.
Or not through puberty, but like as they're approaching puberty.
when they're given like their mantras, or whenever they come of age. Yeah.
Yeah. Now
I think it's interesting too to contemplate like the world at large too. It's like their society seems so secluded and cut off to the world, but for good reasons though. And like you mentioned with like the what is it, the sacred barrier, and what Shintana described it as, it's meant to keep them inside as opposed to keeping things out. I forget who brought that up too. It was like maybe they're being kept there as an experiments, and they're not allowed to view the outside world because of whatever repercussions may come from them knowing about it. Pretty crazy.
Yep. I guess maybe the last thing we should talk about for this show, we're actually approaching close to where I haven't actually seen anything from. I like the last episode I saw, it was like episode 17, and I've had to restart the show every time like someone's like, oh, I want to watch too. But now we're getting into this point where it's like, what's going to happen? Like, what's going to happen now that Saki knows all of this? So like, what do you guys think?
That's a loaded question.
No. Yeah. I'm also curious what Saki thinks about everything. That's another thing. Like, how is she going to handle like processing this?
Well, and there's one thing to know about it, and then there's another to actually like be able to do something about it. But now that she does know, I feel like it's easier for her to tap into that potential. But then you start going down the road of, is she going to end up in the same fate as Shun, because like maybe he knew a little bit more than the rest of them, and that's what kind of led him down this path of becoming a karmic demon. So it's like it seems like a slippery slope in terms of knowledge, and then being able to like use the knowledge, and then being also able to use the knowledge like successfully. So I'm curious to see where it kind of leads her.
Yeah,
just based on the storytelling with like her being like the narrator, it makes me feel like she was able to do something with this knowledge. But well,
it'll be interesting to see if it, because obviously, I mean, I don't know if obviously, but it doesn't seem like you said like she turns into a karmic demon. But at the same time, I'm wondering if, because the last thing she says is, I just have to survive, or I just have to stay alive. And so I'm wondering if this like new motivation is what keeps her powers under wrap from turning her into a karmic demon. And then it becomes, like Rolando said earlier, like mind over matter, and she just concentrates on controlling all that shit. But how? I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
Mark?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either. I feel like either she's going to kind of just take this information and possibly hide it from the others and just kind of tell them that they need to be careful with everything, or she's going to tell them, and then I don't know. I feel like shit's just going to probably start going downhill from there, and probably devolving into them escaping, or they need to protect themselves from the rest of like the society. Because it's either, she tries to protect them by hiding the information that she knows, or she tells them, and then therefore there's a group of people who are sort of in the eyes of like, I don't know what their government is or whatever, the higher ups. They're not supposed to know this information, so therefore it's seen as taboo.
I definitely think whatever happens, they need to leave the situation that they're in. Because it seems like one thing after another where it's like, oh, the adults don't know, but it's like they actually probably do know. They're all watching us. And now like with her discovering like these big secrets or whatever, there's not gonna be a place left for her. They're just gonna kill her, or something.
Now
I think it's a big thing is that like the adults seem to know a lot more than the children do. I mean, of course, because they're older, but they're definitely hiding a lot of information from the children, and it's kind of scary to think about. What if the children start learning these things from an early age, and how will they act out, or how will they react to certain knowledge, as opposed to the adults who have been in society and kind of sort of subservient to a lot of things now. It's kind of scary to think about how the kids are gonna react negatively to some of the things that they are learning.
Yeah, What do you guys think about Saki's realization? She's like, "Is this my fault? Since I'm the one that
that was
unsealed your powers."
It's like, does it even really matter? There's two things you can think about. It's like, one, like, does it matter? Like, the monk lost the charms anyway. They were under this hypnosis. Their power was always going to be what it is. It's just like their conscious mind thinking that I messed this up and so therefore you're screwed, sort of deal. I don't think it's that. I think it's Shun is going to end up in this situation regardless, just based on like how out of control his subconscious mind is, and regardless of her giving him back his power correctly or incorrectly, I don't think has anything to do with it. I think it's just this is how he was going to be regardless. Because I at least the way that I'm thinking about it, a lot of it was like they said, it's like they use religion for control, they use these rules, they use hypnosis, they do all these things to kind of keep that lid on top. But at the end of the day, if your subconscious is that powerful and overwhelming, there's nothing that you're really going to be able to do to kind of keep that in check. So that's how I think about it. I don't think her, quote, giving him back his powers really had anything to do with anything.
I don't think how she gave
or
them back
her not doing
made a
it correctly.
I think her giving them back was kind of, after everything he learned, I feel like it was kind of the final realization for him that none of this shit mattered. He's like, well, the religion crap, it's not doing anything. Like, everything is still within my control. And then after that, he sort of just went wild. That's what I was thinking about it. It didn't really have anything to do with her doing it right or wrong. Just the fact that somebody else other than one of these religious figures, you know, gave him his powers back. He was just like, wait, this is all bullshit. It's all a lie. And then he went and blew
Mark?
up.
I mean, feel like they were kind of doomed regardless. So I feel like, yeah, like Drew said, it kind of doesn't matter now because, you know, they did, you know, give back their powers, or Saki did give them back their powers. And I feel like at that point she kind of saved the others. And Shun, was definitely, you know, too powerful, and maybe the fact that it was, you know, somebody who wasn't as trained in you know, like whatever hypnosis or giving back the mantras or the, what is it?
Yeah,
the Kentis. Maybe that had something to do with it, but I feel like, yeah, it's kind of already been said and done that, you know, there's no going back, and it's kind of, it doesn't really matter anymore. I feel like that's why Shin reacted that way.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember who did, but someone mentioned that they thought that it was like wild, and how Shun, when he got his powers released at the campfire, like everything went crazy. So, whoever brought that up, like, may have a valid point or not, because it's like, was it something where maybe Saki released too much and it, you know, kind of broke his limiter, or was this something where he just knows, or he just thinks too much about this kind of stuff and isn't really affected by this power of suggestion, and that is a sense like the breaking of his own limiter. So it's like, we don't really know. There's also the idea that the charms got burnt up when the blow dog killed the monk. So there's a lot of things that we're not really sure about, and there's just a lot of things to think about, because it's like, right now Satoru he's fine, because if we remember, when he got his power released, he was in like this hypnotic state, and he may have been in the right frame of mind. He also isn't someone to really like have too much of a questioning of this whole power of suggestion thing. He's a little bit more straightforward as a human being, so who knows?
He's
right?
just sort of like, it is, and I got
Mhm.
powers.
Yeah. So there's a lot to
It is the way.
to find out about the show.
Yeah, I was the one who said the big fire thing was like releasing more energy. That's why I think at that moment, it's like something about him just flipped, where he was realizing it doesn't matter. Like, none of the suggestions or hypnosis and all that stuff was all just BS, and he can just break it all, and then he did. That's why I have that theory, at least.
Mhm.
But I could be very wrong.
Who knows?
Dun, dun,
We'll find out.
dun. Next
It
time
sounds
on Shinsekai
sounds plausible to me.
Yori.
It sounded good too. Will Saki save her friends?
Find out next time.
Yeah, I like the whole imagery with Shun kind of walking off on his own, and the fact that the poisons weren't able to kill him, and so he just walked himself into a lake. And like I like the imagery of Shun pulling Saki out of that puddle, I guess it was. I thought that was pretty interesting because it was sort of like he pulled her out, but he also pulled her into his own sort of world, which was like a distorted world at that because he had no control. So I really like that whole scene. It's really interesting because I was definitely kind of lost, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, for the inconsistency that the show has had in terms of animation quality, this episode I felt was like I felt like this.
It works.
I felt like this episode was like super good. I mean, the style and all that worked really well for this episode. It's like ethereal, enter my subconscious with all this distortion. It works and was done, I think, fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, for how up and down the animation quality has been, this episode was pretty decent. I mean, there was a couple of frames of her like flying, and it was like,
yeah.
There were a lot of instances where she was just all like crazy. Everything looked weird.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Where's your camera, Alec?
It kicked me out of this.
He went AFK.
Oh, he went AFK.
He went AFK for too long.
Oh.
Nice.
There we go.
Switching back to, I don't want people to see my desktop. We're back. I just gotta randomly click.
So scary.
Cool. Well, I mean, yeah, this show continues to be an interesting show. So I'm like really looking forward to where this one is going to keep going too. So yeah, we'll get into episode 11 next week. So join us again
actually.
for next week. More Orashiri.
Yeah,
sorry.
Two questions, and I was gonna ask him, but then my camera went all crazy, and I was like, one is I want because we had that line from a while ago, which is Maria should never have been born or whatever. I want to know how this plays into that. It's gotten me thinking about how that plays into all of this, and then also normally when people disappear, they stop remembering them. I think because we talked about that last time about them remembering him still, and I think it's because he hadn't disappeared yet. So I'm wondering now that he's actually gone, if it's gonna change their perception of
Yeah, but is he gone?
Is he gone? Yeah.
Is he gone?
Also,
I feel like he's gone.
I think he killed himself.
He's gonna live in that lake. He's gonna live in that lake.
He's gonna live in his
Living La Vida Loca
forever.
in the lake, dude.
His half dead dog, Subaru, dude, suffering.
Oh.
The name Subaru is just.
It's because he loves Amelia.
Suffering.
Rip Subaru, dude.
Yeah,
Pour one out.
I don't have anything to pour out anymore.
All right.
Poor Subaru.
It's poor.
Yeah, I gotta. I think we're gonna transition. So I'm gonna go get another beer because I don't have anything to talk about for the next segment. So I will be right back.
Okay.
Cool. Well, that does it for our Orashiri then. Let's get into the news. If I start cutting out or like if I'm like lagging really bad and you can't understand me, please let me know and have somebody else take over.
No. You just have to make it through. Sorry.
Well, let's do it then. Let's get some news. Cool. So Tokyo's One Piece Tower theme park will shut down permanently starting on July 31st. One Piece franchise's website provided a brief statement. Permanently, yeah, it's very sad. I really wanted to go and see it. So they say the One Piece website provided a brief statement saying, due to the spread of COVID-19, it would be difficult to, quote, continue providing services that satisfy all of you with the same quality as before. So before the complete closure, the attraction will reopen and allow a limited number of guests free of charge daily.
Wow.
So, yeah, if you're lucky enough to travel to Japan within the next month, I definitely recommend going to see it. I've seen tons of pictures. It looks awesome. There you go, right now.
The U.S. citizens are still
right
banned
now.
from going into the country, Alec.
Yeah. Not if I go through Cuba.
We've been
You're still a U.S.
quarantine.
citizen.
No,
That doesn't
I'm
even
not.
make any sense.
It's not hard to get a passport when you're in Cuba.
A travel passport, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're lucky enough, please go see it. Send us some pictures. It looks awesome. So I'm gonna be very sad that it's closing down. But let's get into some more happier news. Funimation announced during this past weekend's virtual convention that the Demon Slayer film Kimetsu no Yaiba Mugen Train will receive a release in North America shortly after it airs in Japan on October 16th. I mean, if you didn't see this coming, then yeah. Funimation also announced that they are teaming up with Kodansha in order to bring the Attack on Titan film Chronicle to North America later this year. No set date on that. They just said sometime at the end of the year. So, yeah, there was some cool stuff from the Funimation Con. They had a lot of cool guest panels. I think they had the Masquerade thing, which was interesting, and also their cosplay. So into some other virtual convention Anime Expo Light news. Crunchyroll announced new original shows and series for the next year, including Tonikawa Over the Moon for You, which will be released in October. So What, I'm a Spider. So I'm a Spider, so what? Excuse me.
I think the first one you said made more sense.
So what, I'm a spider.
So what, I'm a spider. So I'm a spider, so what? Yeah, the first one doesn't make sense. An isekai about a woman who starts out as a spider and then starts working her way up through the totem pole of life.
Up the web of life.
Reincarnated, reincarnated as a slime. It's pretty much the same premise. But another Crunchyroll original, X-Arm, That Time I Reincarnated as a Slime, OVA number 4 and 5 will be released in July and November, respectively. Monster Girl Doctor is coming in October. And the second season of How Not to Summon a Demon Lord in early 2021.
Wow.
And last bit of news from the Anime Expo Light. Production IG announced a new collaboration with Adult Swim. They said it's going to be like nothing they've ever done before. So, yeah, that was interesting. Did you guys catch any of the Anime Expo Light or Funimation Con stuff?
Only a little bit.
Yes. No, not yet.
Yeah,
not
that's
see
that those are thoughts of that.
I definitely
only a little
did
bit.
not watch anything. Any of those. Yeah.
All right, let's.
Yeah, I haven't watched the Bandori.
There's like a lag.
Yeah, that was good.
This reminds me of before we started working on video.
Yeah, when nobody knew what was going on because no one could see each other.
Or not? And I see Mark like start to talk, and then the words come out. I'll just
use your words.
Sweet. Next slide.
Next slide.
Next slide. Cells at Work has updated their website to show some new visual art for the upcoming theatrical release with the following title: The Return of the Strongest Enemy, a huge upset inside the body's bowels.
Ooh.
That's
it.
Hate when my bowels are upset.
Oh yeah.
Me too, and a lot of that.
Pretty sick.
Yeah.
Drink your kombucha.
That's the one. Yeah. If you saw this Bo showed up in the series, right? Is that right, Drew?
What's that?
This villain showed up in the original anime, right?
Cancer, my man.
That's the
Well,
cancer.
spoilers, dude.
Yeah.
Spoilerinos.
Spooky.
Big ooh. Big spooky.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I like the show. So I'm kind of excited about the movie.
We talked about it before. It's like extremely educational for, folks who maybe don't know a lot about the human body, and being someone in the medical profession, it's like pretty accurate. Like almost everything that they say is like accurate, or like a kind of a dumbed down version of it, but you can still learn a lot from it. And if, it's kind of interesting because a lot of like academic textbooks, it's like here's a little blob, here's a cell. It's like maybe you learn better if it's like a cute anime girl. So maybe more people will learn more about biology.
As someone not in the medical profession, I must say that learning this way is I don't need to know the super deep, dark depths of everything. Just cute anime girl and a little blurb about what it is.
The powerhouse of the cell.
Yeah.
The mitochondria. And
the mitochondria,
and how your body employs child labor with those platelets.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
And how
Yeah.
your cells freak out
I really liked it.
at random times.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
cool. I love this
Cool.
show.
I'm looking forward to the movie. So hopefully it comes out. I think they said sometime probably end of the year again, if not early 2021. So be on the lookout for that, for some more news for that.
There it is.
They're working on same studio's working on like Fire Force and stuff, so probably
Right.
busy doing that currently. But
Right. There's going to be a lot of Cells at Work stuff coming up. I mean, there's those like 3 other shows that Crunchyroll said that they wanted to adapt, and there's a bunch of spin-off manga. It's kind of crazy, but I mean, it's a good series. It's likable and it's educational, so why not?
Yeah,
I'm all
why
for it.
not?
I'm all for it. Yeah. Cool. In manga news, Dengeki Online has announced that Ijiranida Nagatoro-san, or Please Don't Believe Nagatoro-san, will be receiving an anime adaptation. Very excited for this. Telecom animation film will be animating the series with director Hirokazu Hanai at the helm. If you haven't read Nagatoro, I highly suggest it. It's very, very funny. Haikyuu manga will be reaching the climax of its final arc at the end of this month. The series has 41 volumes published by Shueisha and will publish both the physical and digital copy of its final volume later this year. So, yeah,
Nice key.
not
key.
too much Haikyuu after this. Nice key. I think I might start reading it, guys. I'm not gonna bullshit
yeah.
you.
It
I'm
was
gonna start reading it.
was supposed to start this season.
Yeah, they just released some new visual art for the second half of the 4th season, but I just don't think I can wait that long.
Yeah, especially knowing that it's not gonna even cover past that match.
Yep. Yeah. So that's it for our news. I'm glad I got through it. That's it.
We could hear every word.
Good job, Mark.
Yeah.
Good job.
Let's move into our happy hour. Good job, phone. Let's move into our happy hour. We have a few of the premieres for summer 2020. Only a few of us watched them. I mean, there's only like 3 of them. Let's be real. Most of the other ones are coming out later this week, so we will get more of them next week. We may have a special guest to join us to discuss some of the new premieres and what they're thinking. It has been a while. It's been a while since we have a special guest. So let's just get into some of the ones that we may have watched. The first one that I saw was Misfit of Demon High School. Did any of you guys watch this, Drew? I think you might have.
I didn't watch this. I watched Hentai Heroes instead.
He watched
Okay.
hentai instead.
Nice.
You
Yeah.
watched the hentai. All right, that's.
I don't know. I kind of wanted to get because this was a show that I did as a preview, and I'm like on the edge of it. I kind of want to hear like your opinion, Mark, of if you think it'll be watchable or not, because it has like a novel idea, but it's been done before, and I don't think it's gonna be funny. And from the preview, it didn't look that funny, but maybe I'm just missing out. So if you have any thoughts after the first episode, I would be happy to hear them.
This, I feel, is actually not a bad show. Rolanda, what was that show with the kid who? This is going to sound so stupid. It's essentially an isekai show where the character has been reborn as like the demon lord, but it's not an isekai because it's not like this person from another world. It's like just a reincarnation of the demon lord. And Rolanda, what was the name of that show where the kid was raised by his grandpa? Was that what it was? That what it's called?
The wise man's grandson or something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
that one. So it's like where he is super powerful and he goes to this school. And it's like he doesn't really even need to be there. He's just doing it as a Trinity. Yeah, he's just doing it as a matter of fact, or a regular Magic High School type of thing. It's like it's pretty much the same premise. But I actually enjoyed this first episode. I think it was pretty good. The action was pretty decent. The animation was really good. The characters seem likable, I guess. The main character, since he's like super powerful, doesn't seem like a super like douche or like stuck up. he just like knows that he's powerful, so he's like, okay, well, you just
Super
have
douche.
nothing on me, you know. He's not a super douche, which I enjoy. Like, I'm glad he's not like, you know, pretentious. So yeah, I'll probably give this like 3 episodes and then probably continue it. It seems like it's pretty decent so far. So I would say definitely give it a 3 episode.
Yeah, I'm on the fence with it. I think I'll end up giving it a try. We'll see.
I'll check
Yeah,
it out.
it's like I said, it's. I'm glad it's not an isekai, but it sort of feels like it.
Yeah, I think I said it when I was previewing it the other week. It reminds me of like The Devil is a Part-Timer, but that's an isekai that I actually like enjoy because it's like kind of doesn't take itself
Sort of
like
flipped.
super seriously, and it's like flipped, right?
Yeah.
And this kind of seems similar to that, so I think I may enjoy it, a recent isekai, but like I said, we'll see.
Yeah, I would say give it a shot. Yeah. So then next show that we have on here, Super X Heroes.
Can we just call it Hentai Heroes because that's what I want. That's what I want to call it.
Just call it Heroes because
Can we call it?
you don't
Can we call it Hentai
normally.
Heroes? Sure. Why not?
Yeah, you don't normally pronounce the X when it's like that in like Japanese shows like Hunter x Hunter. You don't say the X in Hunter x Hunter. No.
Hunter x
But they
Hunter?
say
I think
arrows.
it's kind of a play on the
Yeah,
word like arrows
and hero.
like
yeah.
Hunter x Hunter?
But I think in the show they say like X Heroes, don't they?
Zero.
Yeah, they like they enunciate the eros, which is like, you know, like eroge, erotic, you know, that same sort of deal there. I don't know. This show is fucking stupid. It's just
Yeah. Yeah, this
Just
show
say
is pretty
Heroes.
stupid. I mean, this is Heroes. Hentai. Let's just call it Hentai Heroes because it's really it's another segment of I can't believe it's not hentai, and it's like every maybe like 10 minutes or so I was just expecting it to just devolve into like straight up hentai. It's like some sort of hentai plot is happening, and then it's like, oh, we're back to regular day life.
I couldn't believe the way that I described it is like actually how the show is, but it is exactly how the show is. There are aliens who thrive on human sexuality, and that is the show.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure
Yep.
there have been 5 other anime that have had this exact same premise.
Yep.
Yep.
And they were all bad.
Yep.
You mean like the
Yep,
one
yep.
last season?
Which one?
Not the same premise.
Was there one
but
last season?
It was just hentai. Can't
I
remember.
Oh
don't
no,
know,
that
I
was
didn't- I
was it
didn't watch
Val
it.
X
Oh,
yeah,
or
that was a couple
something?
seasons ago.
Or
No,
no,
I'm
something
thinking of,
different.
Researchers.
Interspecies reviewers. I'm just
Well, there
thinking
is that. No, Rolando, we both watched a show
first
where the main
episode.
character was like, yeah,
Yeah,
awful. It was awful, and it was like he like
He
needed some sort
unlocked
of like
he
Eros
unlocked their
power.
powers by going on dates with them and touching them erotically or some shit.
Oh,
like
Data
Yeah.
Life.
that. See, like there's like 5 different shows that have that exact same fucking premise. This is what you can like. I
Shimonetta.
can't tell you you're wrong because it's like the same.
That's a good show though.
Is
Yeah,
it?
but Shibonetta is a good show though.
It's like satire, so it's like
It's a great show.
good, but
If you say so.
Yeah, I don't know about Hentai Heroes. It's
I don't think I'm
kind of
gonna
want to watch it for the meme, but it's like it's not even like really that meme worthy. It's just like it's dumb.
I
Yeah,
see.
it was just
This is
kinda
the thing is like I feel like this is since no one wants to watch the show, we kind of have to do a 3-episode rule on it just because.
That's kind of why I suggested it too, because
that's fair.
All right.
Yeah, I say we reconvene again and discuss
Can't wait
whether or
to-
not we're gonna. It's even worth.
Can't
No,
wait
we're
to
gonna do
drop
it.
that one.
We're gonna do it. 3-episode rules.
We're gonna do it. 3-episode
decided.
rule.
we'll make sure that's the third one.
Yeah, that's the third
we'll
one.
talk
We
about
all agree.
third.
God.
Yeah.
Watch it
Come
turns out
third
great.
week, we're like, this is awful.
Because the show has just so much to
What a
offer.
masterpiece.
Yeah.
Fabulous Max.
Exactly. Yeah.
It could be. It could
It's
be.
gonna get over a 3.5 from all of us.
Well,
Very good.
out of what? Out of 10?
Out of 3.5.
Out of 3.5.
Yeah.
Out of 3.5? Wow.
It's its own
Blew
rating
my,
system.
Blew my mind right there.
3.5 out of 7. All right. Next show that I think I watched. Well, not that I think I watched this show this morning.
You think you watched it?
But I don't know if you guys watched it. But God of High
It
School came out
premiered. It
today.
premiered today. Yeah, so I
Premiered this
didn't
morning,
watch
yeah.
it.
I don't know. Yeah. All right. Well, then let's discuss it next week. Because it was a lot of action. It seems pretty good. So
Tournament arc
I would say
show.
pretty much. Yeah. I would say watch it. This is gonna be another show where I read the webtoon, so I'm gonna have a lot to nitpick about it, but I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. Moving on, Fire Force season 2 aired today or yesterday, I think.
A couple days ago, I think.
Oh,
I watched that one. Yeah.
cool. Thoughts
Kinda-
on the second season?
They
Kind of
they
a-
let us off the way that first season kind of started off big monster to start off, and then like kind of lighthearted after that. Mark, you and I were talking about it. The problem I have with all these shows, and we say it every time, is the OP spoils everything. This OP had everything. I know exactly what's going to happen generally for the entire show. So if you want to avoid that, don't watch the OP. And unfortunately, it's not as big of a banger as Fire Force openings have been in the past. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but it's not like super good. But yeah, like it shows you all the new characters. It shows you like spoils about certain characters and like their interaction with other characters. It is like a big bummer to me. So
Yep.
Yeah.
They kind of did that in the first season too. It's
they
like
sure did.
the very first OP, they showed characters that weren't shown until like the last 2 episodes or something. It's like it's kind of a weird creative decision to go that route and show so much of the show, or show so much in the opening that you just aren't even gonna get to. Not to mention they also show like action that just probably that isn't gonna happen, which is kind of weird. But I mean, I guess that's
They did that
wanna,
in the
you know,
first season
flex during
too.
the opening.
In the second
Right.
opening, you're like, they're not going to cover this in the season. And like I remember going like, we didn't see any of that stuff that they showed in the opening. So
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened again. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a weird creative choice there. I don't know if I necessarily think that's a great choice. I like the ED though. I like the animation of the ED. I think it was kind of funny, that like kind of side scroller video game action. Like I thought that was cool. Song was like all right.
Like kind of like new wavy techno sort of song.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah.
We did get Cobra, Reverse Cobra, Naked Boys or whatever. So that was
Power Cobra.
Power Cobra.
Yeah, I mean it's
Double
it's interesting to
Cobra.
start off the first episode of the second season with some fan service for female viewers. So
Yeah, that's the other thing. It is female fan service, which is you don't get that too often. So
why is it only got to be female?
no, definitely not,
well, it doesn't only have to be.
because it was.
But,
I mean, no, it doesn't. But I mean, the major audience for that is definitely females. But
I'm just
You're-
giving you
you're
a hard
right.
time.
you are
Giving you a
correct.
hard
I'm
time.
just giving you all the
You
time.
You are correct. It is 2020.
We got Koopas, Cascades.
Okay.
Sorry. Outrageous fun.
Stop.
Okay.
I'll never
I'll
stop.
I'll never stop.
All right. Too many inside jokes.
I mean,
Not really.
yeah. Sorry.
You want something.
Like, I think the second season is going to be good. So I'm hoping you guys enjoy it. It will be a little bit more action than like parts of the first season. So I think it'll be fun.
There's
Things
gonna
start
be
getting
like,
heavy.
yeah, I think it's gonna be like less backstory in terms of like why all this shit is happening, and now like we know the why, and let's kick some ass to kick ass.
Yeah,
Yep.
things start getting like kind of heavy and really serious. Like the implications that what we learned in the first season that they have on the rest of the world. It starts spreading out a little bit. Things start getting bigger picture and start getting more into the why we're doing things. So, yeah.
Because of the implications.
Any other shows that you guys may have watched because of the implications? Any other shows that you guys may have watched? I think Monster Musume is the only other one that came out that aired. Did
Yeah, I
anybody
don't think
watch
much
that?
else has aired. Yeah, and I did not. I will not watch Monster Musume. Talk about interspecies reviewers.
Well, dude, Do we
Yeah.
want to discuss maybe what we'll do for 3-episode rule?
Sure. I cannot pull up the other lists, so if somebody wants to pull up the rest of the list,
Alec, can you pull it up to the stream and then we'll kind of take a look at that?
Maybe.
So here, let me.
Well, I threw while he's doing that, I threw out like kind of my suggestions, and just like looking at the list now, I can kind of throw out some more like,
Annie chart?
I don't think God think God of High School would be a good one just because it's going to be
It's
action. I don't give it much.
We don't want to
it
put
is
a show
hyped.
that's
and
hyped.
there's-
Yeah.
I threw out Kanojo Okurishimasu just because I think the premise is kind of wild. And I don't know how hyped it is. I know Mark and Rolando are familiar with the manga and have some preconceived notions about some of the characters there. So I think that one could be an interesting one to talk about. I threw out the Demon King. Episode 1 already aired of that. Mark kind of gave us his opinions on that. I think it's another one that's probably not going to be as popular, and maybe interesting. Those were kind of it. I mean, there's Hentai Heroes, but we already talked about we're probably going to do that one just because of the implication.
Oh god.
Because of the implications. All right.
A lot of the other stuff, it's like Monster Musume. It's like really weird. Like there's like an idol show that I have like no interest in.
There's nothing airing this season.
No.
Everything got delayed.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's the problem. Like a lot of stuff got delayed. And either it's leftover or short format. So there's not too kind of slim pickings.
Yeah, I won't be watching Peter Quill.
Okay, so this is the season definitely that we have to choose something, or we have to choose shows that we weren't planning on watching in the first place, because it's almost all
I think
of them.
I think like Hentai Heroes falls into that category.
Yep.
The Demon Lord, interesting. Like maybe. The other one is Uzaki-chan wa Asobitai. It's like a slice of life comedy ecchi sort of show. Maybe interesting for 3 episodes. Obviously, like there's other things like Rom-Com Snafu 3. There's Fire Force. There's Suffering with Subaru season 2.
I mean, those are shows that are.
Great Pretender.
No Guns, No Life. No Guns, Life 2.
I don't even see that Usagi-chan show that you're talking about. Why don't I see it?
I don't know.
Uzaki-chan wa Osobitai.
Where is it?
I don't see it.
Is it near the
I could-
top, middle?
I'm gonna link it to chat. Chat.
Yeah, do that.
Have a look. There you go.
do that.
GGY.
Oh, okay. See, isn't that a short? Oh no, it's not.
Oh, I found it.
It's not. If you scroll up, Alec, it's on the right hand side.
Okay. Right here.
I
You
mean,
want some peace and quiet?
yeah, like we have to choose some of these shows, and I mean, if we're gonna
We need to
do
choose 2.
if we're gonna do Hentai Heroes, then
Not Peter
we gotta
Quill.
choose something out of what's left.
Great Pretender.
Yeah, we got.
I mean, do we want to do Kanojo Okarishimasu? Because, I mean, that's already something
I'm
that,
fine with talking about it.
like,
I
I feel like
talked
Mark
about it
and I were
before, but-
already gonna watch that show. I just don't know if you guys were gonna watch it.
Yeah,
I was gonna
'cause-
I was gonna
3
watch it soon.
at least.
Okay.
Let's see. So we'll do that.
We
One.
can do that.
Okay.
We gotta choose one more though. What
You
I
want to do the Mao?
mean-
Ow!
it have
I
to be
personally feel like Decadence isn't gonna be good, and I personally don't want to watch it.
So then let's watch.
Yeah, I
it.
really don't want to.
I want to watch Great Pretender. I'm gonna give that 3. So
Great Pretender is already all out though.
is it? Yeah, I want to watch
Yeah.
3 and see if I'll watch the rest.
Okay, I mean, go ahead.
You guys.
We could also
don't
just
have to
watch it.
all
and-
23.
we can just watch it and then.
I
I
don't
mean,
want
that's
to watch all 23 if I don't like the first
you just
couple.
said you want to watch.
No, I want to watch the first 3. Is what I was saying.
Oh,
Yeah, I want to watch. I was gonna watch the first 3 and see how I like it, but it looks cool.
I don't know. What do you guys want to do? out of what's left here.
What else is here?
There's
I don't know.
like,
I vote for the Mao
We could watch
Demon King.
Mao Gakuin.
Mukul Dreamy. Little Barney show.
Mukul Dreamy.
Yeah, yeah. It looks terrible.
Nah.
I would say it's between that, Decadence, Uzaki-chan, and then I guess looking at the rest of this, what
What's that?
Lapis Relight, that looks like it's gonna be bad.
Which one's that?
I don't want to watch that show. That's the idol.
That's the
It's an idol
idol
show
one.
with
Oh,
fantasy element.
No, it's between that, but I didn't hear what that was. The first show that it's between.
The one that Drew's been talking about, Mao Gakuin.
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear the
The
name.
Demon Lord.
Misfit.
So, what do you guys think between those four? Demon Lord School? Do we want Decadence?
I really don't want to watch Decadence.
Uzaki-chan
I
wants to
really
play.
Don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
And then Lapis Relight's Idol Fantasies. That's not the one
I
you said.
choose Demon Lord or Uzaki-chan.
Which
I'm
one's-
probably gonna side with those two choices as well. I mean, I already saw Demon Lord, but I think Uzaki-chan is probably the only other one that sounded that interesting to me.
Which one's Demon Lord? What's the?
Mao Gakuin.
Oh, that one. Okay. And Lapis.
So, I think it should be between those four.
Lapis does have the goddess in it. She's supporting all the other no names.
The thing is, like,
You gotta have
this
somebody
season's
that people
selection,
know.
this season's selection is so bad
Yeah, it sucks.
that, like, I just
It's
any
just
of the
a
like,
bunch of
the-
edgy.
we're not gonna like be able to talk too much about these shows,
No.
but
Good
it
thing
is
we got
interesting
Penguin
because
Drum and
we're-
Sensei
the thing is, like, it's interesting because these are shows we weren't gonna watch, and then now we're gonna be forced to watch it. So, like, which one of these shows do you really feel like you're not gonna watch the most?
Uzaki-chan.
Uzaki?
Yeah.
Is that it? What do you guys
I
think?
guess that does it.
All right.
Definitely don't.
So
feel like I'm gonna watch
Kanojo-
that one.
Kanojo, Uzaki, and Hentai Heroes is sounding like what the consensus is.
Sounds
Yeah.
All
terrible.
right. Well,
Okay.
both Uzaki-chan and Kanojo
That sounds terrible.
are airing within the next
In 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
Hentai
Perfect.
Heroes and that already aired, right? So
So Hentai Heroes, we made a pact. We're gonna do the third episode of Hentai Heroes.
technically, we're
And
supposed
talk
to
about
watch
that.
all of these to 3 episodes. That's why it's called 3 episodes.
No, for sure. But we want to watch that and talk about it with 3 being fresh in our mind.
all
So,
three.
I
so
think
with that
it's
said, do we
Kanojo
want to do
first.
Kanojo.
Yeah.
what's up, Mark? Kanojo first. Cool.
That's what Alex said, right?
Yeah. Kanojo. I say Kanojo first, because it seems like the other one will have more to either like. It'll be kind of like Hentai Heroes. The more we have, the better.
I honestly think there's going to be 0 to talk about with Uzaki-chan. Just in
Oh,
my
yeah?
opinion,
Yep.
it looks like a
I just want to rag on it.
it just looks like the
Magic. It looks like magical.
It looks like a
magical senpai.
It looks like a 4-panel like manga. That's just slice of life. I don't know if there's really gonna be.
It's
anything
gonna be
to talk about it.
like
Talk shit.
it's gonna be like Magic Senpai. Just be like
Yeah,
fucking
we're just
edgy
gonna
shit.
we're just gonna say how bad it is. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
And we have 2
That gives- that
episodes
gives
to
us
say how bad
discussion
it is.
stuff.
It's way better. Because I know
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna finish. Or I'm
Way
gonna
better.
keep watching Kanojo, most likely. Because I'm pretty sure I did the. Excuse me, the review
I
on
think-
that one, and that one looked
The preview.
interesting to me. Yeah, the preview.
After episode 1 of Kanojo, you guys are gonna have your own thoughts on it, which is gonna be fine.
Yeah,
that's
that's gonna be
totally
fun.
fine.
Spoiling, Mark.
we no,
That's
no,
good.
no, it's like this is the first show since
I'm just saying, yeah.
since Gotobun that we actually get to have these differing opinions on
Yeah.
on things.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we haven't done a romance show
It's gonna be good.
in a year. Since the last time Gotobun.
It's gonna be great.
aired.
Yeah, yesterday doesn't count.
Yep.
I mean, yesterday is.
Garbage.
Was there really romance in that show?
No,
I don't
it
think
was-
so.
It was a
Well, there was.
show about
There
abusive
kind of
relationships.
was.
Yeah, it was a show about an
People
abusive
didn't
woman.
understand how to be in relationships.
It was a show about an abusive woman that was getting in the way of a romance.
They didn't understand. Okay, they didn't understand how relationships work.
Yeah.
And they didn't know.
Yeah.
They were all 12 years old, apparently.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so then that settles it then. So Kanojo, we're going to talk about next week. And then Uzaki, something we'll talk about the following week. And then we will also be discussing Hentai Heroes. The first
extreme detail.
Extreme
detail.
Excruciating ecchi details.
This one.
I'm just like, it's so ridiculous. Anyways, that does it then. So like I said, we'll get our special guest. I'll get our special guest to watch this series, and then
should we bring him on
to have a discussion,
or him or her on with Hentai Heroes, so that they have to talk about the 3 episodes.
Oh, absolutely.
Beautiful idea. Wonderful idea.
Great.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great times.
Indoctrinate.
All right. Well then, anything else that you guys want to talk about? Any rants, recommendations for this week, or are we closing up?
The beer?
Maybe the beer. Maybe we should talk about that.
We didn't talk about the beer.
No.
Holy crap!
Maybe Mark paused long enough that we didn't talk about the beer.
Yeah.
What? Who let me skip the beer, guys?
I just thought you were like.
I thought you were gonna go into it after the news break.
Yeah, you went news, and then you're like, all right, let's go into our 3-episode rule. I was like, all right, he's just freestyling. I'll let him.
That's what I thought too. I was just like, Mark's gonna get into it.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, let's talk about the beer, guys.
Yeah, let's do it. Right at the end.
Yeah. Right at the end. I don't know. It's been a week, all right? It's been like 2 weeks.
He was taking in the whole the sights of everything. He was like, all right, well.
Blue is
I really wanted to get. Yeah. I wanted to get 2 beers in before I discussed this one. That's why.
Yeah. Slip me one.
Holy shit. All right. Well,
I got you. Don't worry.
All right. Well, then, Rolando, since we are both drinking the thanks, man. Since we're both drinking the Figaro Mountain, the Danish Red Lager, give me your thoughts on this.
I think it's a good beer. The last Figaro Mountain beer I had, I don't remember what it was, but I wasn't like a big fan of it. But this one has kind of maybe re-established what I think about the brewery, at least being the second beer I've had from them. And
I remember you were talking poorly about the other one that you had. I don't remember the style of what it was, but I remember because when this one was suggested, I remember the name being like, oh yeah, didn't we like talk crap about that brewery before?
Yeah, but it's like I don't want to like say, you know, have that one bad experience and say the brewery is bad. But like this has kind of reinvigorated my thoughts about this brewery. It's so far 50-50. One of them wasn't good and this one is good. This one, like I haven't had a red in a while, and this has a lot of those characteristics of like the nice maltiness. It's like that sort of biscuity flavor. It's a lager, so it's refreshing to have in the summer where it's hot right now. And I think the nice thing about this, it's only 5.5%, 23 IBU. So this is definitely a beer that Alec would be able to enjoy. And it's like, it's inspired by Solvang, the Danish village in Southern California here. So it's very like a nice like malty flavor, and I think that's like a nice a nice characteristic about red ales that I just find is done pretty well in this beer. Yeah.
You don't find a lot of red ales around, and I feel like this is sort of along the lines of the topic that we had months ago about the amber ales and how it's sort of like a declining style. You sort of don't find like amber ales that often. Just because like sure they have a lot of similar tastes, but this is like a little bit more of the malty side. I really enjoy like the caramel of this. Like it's a little bit sweet, but I like that sort of balance of the sweetness and maltiness, or you kind of your taste buds are sort of like trying to balance both. But yeah, I do agree that this is a pretty good beer. I don't remember which one you had either, but I know I've had the Mayberry Street, I think.
That doesn't ring a bell to me.
From Figure Out. Right, that's one that I had, and I can't remember. I know at like both stores that I went to, they had the hoppy something. It's like a hoppy pale ale or something. And maybe that was the one that you tried.
I'm gonna look it
but
up.
the IPA that they had was like, it was pretty okay. Like it just tasted like any other IPA. Like it was pretty decent, but I mean, like I wasn't impressed. But I'm actually enjoying this one a lot. So maybe this is something that a lot of people have enjoyed, and I think that they are moving more towards getting out there. So yeah, I actually really like this. It's been a while since I've had a red ale as well. So yeah, I like this one. Drew, do you want to give your thoughts on the Trader Drew's Joe's drive-through?
Yeah, so the drive-through dry hopped red ale by the Trader Joe's brewery. They call it the Joseph Brow Brewing Company. I don't know if we've actually had a Trader Joe's like specific from Joseph Brow, but they brew like pretty like regular normal styles, and they're like consistently like pretty decent. They're not all ever like, oh my god, this is the best I've ever had, but I've never had a bad beer from that particular brewery or whatever you want to call it. But it's your stereotypical red ale, a little bit stronger, 7.2% alcohol. I think you guys are giving me trouble for for jumping on that, but yeah, I'm into the second one now, and then kind of feel it there. Definitely malty, biscuity, kind of like what you guys were describing. Sip here.
You're almost done with that one. Damn.
It's hot, dude. It's so hot in this room. I'm like dying.
I want to go get another one right now. It's so hot in my room.
Yeah, I know that. I'm looking.
But no, it's like a super like you think of like have you guys been to BJ's? You have like the Jeremiah Red. It tastes very similar to that. Very similar flavor profile to that. Just kind of like your classic red ale. There's nothing outstanding about it, but it tastes like how it should, and I'm appreciative of that right now because it is super crisp, super clean, really easy to drink, and on a hot summer afternoon, evening that it is right now, in this hot room with like multiple computers, this is hitting the spot.
Excuse me.
Nice.
I found that beer, Mark.
I don't. You did?
I found it.
Which one is it?
It's the 101 Blonde. It was when we had the blonde.
101 Blonde.
Yeah.
Okay. I have not seen that at both the stores that I went to. I did not see it there. So maybe it was not very popular.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I saw there's something like Hoppy Poppy or something. That was the one I saw at both stores, and I think it was like a pale ale. So who knows? All right. Well then, Alec, I don't know. You want to talk about your beer that you had, your amber ale?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, he said,
nothing to
I
write
don't know,
home
do you
about.
want
Just
to?
kind of
So-
whatever.
No. Let me grab it here. Yeah, it's the Full Sail amber. Quickly. Okay. Yeah. So it's the Full Sail amber from Full Sail Brewing Co. I don't think I've ever had a beer from Full Sail, so this was a good intro, I think, to their their brewery. I don't know if everything is good, but this is good. I would definitely buy this again. I think it kind of goes along with the flavors you guys were talking about. I have written down here malt, hops, caramel, and then it's got like kind of a spicy note quality to it, and then it smells malty and caramely. Really good for a hot day. It's not super bitter. I looked it up to see what they used, and it looks like they used Mount Hoods and Cascades for their hops, and then Crystal. They use 2-row pale crystal and chocolate malts. But all in all, I think it's a pretty good quality beer. It's pretty simple. It's not super muddled. The feel of it is really smooth. It's not super alcoholic, even though it's I think it's 6%. Yeah, 6%. So it's not high, but it's not low either. And it's just an overall good beer. Definitely would recommend it. Oregon does good stuff for sure.
Is that where it's from?
Yeah, it's from Hood River,
It's
Oregon.
from where?
Full Sail Brewing
Hood
Co. in
River, Oregon.
Yep. Oregon's
Did they learn-
original amber, they say.
Did they learn how to brew from Full Sail?
What?
Mark got what
It's
I
university.
Mark what I got what I was saying.
Mark's
Yeah, I
picking up
got
what
it.
you're putting
I got
down.
it. Picking up what you're putting down, smelling what you're stepping in.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice, dude. That's great.
That sounds interesting though. Yeah, I haven't heard of Full Sail before, so that's a new one for me. For a second, I wasn't sure if they were from Vegas or what.
No, I was gonna. There was.
Did you pick
one
that up
was
at like a
local.
liquor store or?
Total Wine and More, just nearby. But I was gonna pick up a local one, but I didn't. I got this instead because they had it as a single and not a 6-pack.
Did they reopen breweries in Vegas?
I think so. I think it's probably limited capacity, and then I know they were talking about some places not allowing places like breweries to be open unless you're like only buying food, and then if you get beer, it's got to be to go or something. But I don't know if that's actually going on right now because I know everything else is pretty much open. It's just the mayor recently said that no matter where you go, you have to wear a mask. So that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that's it and not no beer because that'd be shitty.
I picked up some Grand Canyon Pilsners out in Williams, Arizona.
That river water.
Yeah,
Brewed
they're
with
brewed from the grandest of
The
canyons.
grandest.
Excuse me. Grandest of canyons.
Are you okay?
It was actually pretty good. I started like choking.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty good. My throat just got like really dry. It was actually pretty good.
Thinking about the canyon.
I'll
And
think
dry.
about that Grand Canyon. Being out in the desert, yeah,
It's just like you
hot.
fucking idiots.
but yeah,
Drew's like,
They're,
what is
uh,
wrong with you guys?
they're-
Like, you guys are all idiots.
the brewery was actually open, and so I took a look inside, and it was kind of weird, like walking into establishments in like a different city. It felt like I probably shouldn't have, but I was very careful with like
They were judging
people
you.
I
Wearing a
came
mask.
across, and yeah, oh definitely, yeah, wearing a mask and not touching stuff and washing hands. Yeah, for sure.
They're like, look at this
but yeah, I
California
picked up
coming
some,
to Arizona during the summer. We go to California.
It's like yeah.
They sure do.
I mean, yeah, we sure do. Yeah. So, I picked up Grand Canyon Pilsners. It was pretty
Nice.
good.
What do you guys
What's
want
that?
to eat with this? All I can think of is eating a pastrami sandwich while I drink this.
Oh, that sounds dope.
Like on rye
Sounds good.
bread
That sounds
or something
amazing.
from DZ Aikens, specifically.
You get your slaw. You know, you get your Thousand Island, your melty cheese. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Pretzels.
Pretzels. Oh, pretzels.
Pretzels, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretzels are a good one. Yeah, some kind of salty. Yeah.
I like soft pretzels with like beer cheese or like whole
Mustard.
grain mustard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking.
That
The
sounds
pretzels
good.
with the mustard.
That sounds good too. Now I'm
That
thinking
sounds
about
really
all
good.
of it, like right in
Yeah.
front of me. Let me take a bite of my pastrami sandwich
Just-
and dip this pretzel in cheese.
You got a sausage on the side.
Yeah, you got a brat
Yeah.
just chilling.
Ooh.
And then you got a.
We did that in
Ooh.
Japan. Remember, we went up to like the top floor. We had a sausage and some
Some sausage.
Oh, yeah.
mustard and
at the
Yep.
brewery. That was at the roof
at
of that
the
place.
brewery?
Yeah.
The brewery, yeah, where they had like that. What is it, like dry or like that super cold tap or whatever it was?
Oh yeah, it was the
Asahi
yeah,
at
like
Asahi
a
super
1,000
dry.
negative degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, the super dry.
Asahi is
Yeah.
actually really good on draft, but out of a can, it's not
Yeah.
very good.
I don't like
Same.
it. I don't like it out of the can. I like it super cold on tap, and that is the way to drink it. That is
Well, good question. Thank you, Alec. All right. Well, then, why don't we get into some ratings for these? Rolando, do you want to start us off?
Sure. This is a pretty good beer.
Yeah. Brother.
Not too much to say. Solvang is a cool place, and this is a pretty cool beer. We give it a 3.5.
Very
Cool.
Solvang of you.
That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
too. 3.5. It's a solid beer. It's enjoyable. I would consider getting this again. Yeah. It's like not like amazing, but it's a pretty good beer.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Drew, you want to hit us with the rating for
3.5. I'm on the 3.5 train with y'all. It's like
3.5?
nothing super special, but really good right now. Yeah, it's good beer and would seem like pretty easily available as long as you have a Trader Joe's in your city. Check it out.
Cool.
Check it.
Alec?
Yeah. I wonder if this speaks to just red ales. They're kind of nothing spectacular, but they're good. Because I'm also gonna say 3.5 for mine. Just good, consistent beer. I'm probably gonna try it again though, because mine wasn't like the perfect temperature when I pulled it out of the fridge, so it warmed up pretty quick. So I kind of want to try it when it's cold, and see if that changes anything. But as of right now, it's a good solid 3.5.
Cool.
I don't know. I feel like when you get like a really good red ale, like there's something about it. It's something about like the balance between it. Because the Coronado, I think it's the Mermaid Red. That's like one of my favorite beers, and that's a really really good balanced beer. Like it's got some hops, it's got some sweetness, it's got a lot of malt to it. It kind of hits you with like a lot of flavors. But I do kind of get what you're saying. It's like when you have a red ale that's just like pretty decent. Because like Drew said, the I think it's a red ale that's at BJ's is like it's like a decent beer. You know,
Yeah.
nothing to write home about, but it's gonna quench your thirst. Like when you get into that zone of like your red ales, you're kind of just like, yeah, sure, it's all right.
Seems like a people pleaser. Any
Yeah.
palate can pick it up and drink it. It's not gonna speak to one person over another. So.
And it goes really well with like dinner time food as well. We kind of started naming those things. Like you go and have dinner somewhere, like this is like a good pairing for just about anything that you would get other than fish. They probably don't fish.
It's too strong of a sweet flavor, and there's like kind of malty flavor for
You have to
fish,
have a
I
pretty
think.
potent fish, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want like super malty with fish. I think like a wheat beer is definitely something.
Yeah.
Just like a white wine.
That's
But
a good point. There's
Yep.
certain beers that just are elevated by what you're eating. They're okay by themselves, and then when you're eating the right things, it's really, really excellent. And this is probably that kind of style.
Yeah, because you kind of sometimes you just want something to kind of quench your thirst and cool you down. In our situation,
Yeah.
it's like I just want to drink something cold and refreshing, and that has some flavor to it. And it's like this red ale is perfect. It's hot. I want to enjoy a beer, and this is like it's got some good flavors in it. So yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Cool.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, brother. All
Fabulous
right. Well.
Max.
Fabulous.
now you can end the show, Mark.
Now-
Now
end the show.
I think we're done.
I think so.
Now it is time. Does anybody have anything else to say?
No, we covered the beer.
No.
I'm happy.
No. We did it. We did it, guys.
We did it.
I did it. Yes.
You did it, Mark. You made it.
We did it. All right.
Yeah.
Let's close it up then.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us. If you want to, you can definitely check out all of our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, contact anything. Go to our website, animeondraft.com. There's links to everything on there. You can check out all our social media. You can contact us if you have anything that you want to talk to us about, any recommendations, if you want to be on the show. Or if you also want to see some of our previous episodes, you can go there as well. We have our whole catalog of episodes if you want to check out some of the series that we've been doing, other shows that we've covered, and want to see our thoughts on them. Please feel free to go to our website, animeondraft.com. And like I said, Instagram is Anime on Draft Podcast, Twitter at Anime on Draft. We are also on we're also on other sound podcast services. So just search Anime on Draft. We're on there if you want to see some of our backlog of episodes. And like we've been talking about some of our video issues. But if you want to see some of our other shows, or if you want to catch us live, just head on over to twitch.tv/Anime on Draft. Turn on notifications. That way you get notified whenever we do go live. And you can catch us again next Monday around 7 p.m. is when we usually start. We will have a special guest for you guys next week, 6:37. And if anything changes, please, turn on notifications. Like I said, that way you can get notified when we do go live. And if you feel so inclined, please leave us a review on any podcast service. That greatly helps us. It lets other people know, the great things that we're doing if you enjoy us. And it also lets us know that people are listening, and that you may have something nice or something unkind to say. Whatever it is, we want to hear it, and we want to talk about it on the show. So please leave us a review, like us, like our page and everything. And yeah, that would be awesome. So I think that does it for us this week. Thank you again for joining us, and we will see you all here. We'll talk to you all next week.
Bye.
All right.
Bye. Bye. It's okay, Mark.